Long time no see. We are back at this with a tutorial. It is so hard to talk and do a tutorial with braces on. I still have a lisp. I don't know if that will ever go away, honestly. So I wanted to film a tutorial that is super user-friendly because I feel like there's so many of these videos out there. If you're like a normal girl who doesn't particularly have a makeup collection but likes makeup and still wants to know how to do it on a nice night out, like, we need those user-friendly videos, sweetie. I kept it pretty simple. I'm hoping for the normal everyday person to create this with what you have, because I know you buy these palettes and they just sit in your drawer and you don't know what to do with them, okay? First of all, I know a lot of people have gotten their hands on the Makeup by Mario palette from Anastasia, so that's what we're going to be working with today. The look today is going to be a wearable bronze, smoky eye. You can wear this look casually or for a night out. If you wanted to bump it up, you could do a deeper lipstick or even go darker in the eyes. I wanted to keep this pretty wearable. Before we begin, I'm going to start off with the products that you'll need. Firstly, we're going to be using the Makeup by Mario palette. Second, going to need a golden eye base. This one's great, NYX Lingerie in Bronze Mirage. That's under $10. Also, I have the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize in Betty. Otherwise, you can just use water with your eyeshadows to create that base. Another great thing to have on hand is a Hydrating Mist or an Evian spray or Fix Plus or water in a spray bottle. One shadow I'm using outside of the palette is called Creme Brulee from Makeup Geek. Mascara of choice. My weapon of choice is the Superhero Mascara from It Cosmetics. A golden bronze eyeliner. You can get this from NYX or anywhere at the drugstore that's just a golden eyeliner. This one is from Urban Decay. The three brushes I want you to have on hand. One that comes with the palette, which is the dual-ended brush with a flat shader and a blender, and then a clean blending brush. You can get these for cheap. You can find them at Marshall's. You can use them from e.l.f. Just something that's clean in between use. And an eyeliner brush. And as far as face makeup, just do your normal routine, whatever that may be. We'll get into face on another video because everybody has a different face routine. Some people don't even do face makeup. So for your nights out that you want just like a bronze smoky wearable look, this is your look. I have so much faith in you. This doesn't have to be hard. I want to make it easy for you. Hopefully you'll start understanding your eyeshadows and your palettes and how to use them through these videos. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave me a comment and I will respond to you as fast as I can. But without further ado, let's jump right in. First off, I have foundation already in place on my eyelid with some powder, so that's gonna lock it in place. So to try to give you this celebrity look and not overcomplicate things, I'm just gonna explain a technique that many professional makeup artists use, and that is layering a base with an eyeshadow. So the base that I'm going to use is from Charlotte Tilbury. It's just this creamy eyeshadow, and it has a mousse texture. It looks like this. And this is what it looks like on the skin. So by itself, it's gorgeous, but what that does is it dries down and it's gonna help your eyeshadow stick throughout the day. So another dupe that I have for that is the NYX Lingerie cream shadows, or any sort of cream shadow that's like a golden bronze. You'll see the difference with them next to each other. The NYX one is actually a little bit more opaque, but since I have both, I'm going to mix a little bit of both. Another thing is the Urban Decay golden pencil. I'll put the name right here, but this has that similar golden tone as well, and that can be used as a base too. At the drugstore, they have cream shadows like this from Maybelline, but the cream shadow added onto your makeup look is going to just add a depth, add a really beautiful texture, and give you that celebrity look that you're longing to achieve at home. I'm going to start with the Charlotte Tilbury on my ring finger and just place a tiny amount to start, focusing on just the lid. I have a tinier lid space. I have more almond eyes. Now, the trickiest thing with doing your makeup at home and using a cream shadow is getting this blend seamless from the lid to the crease. So what you're going to do is take the clean finger, your clean middle finger, and right at the crease, you're going to just tap with light pressure. And this is the easiest way to blend where the shadow is harsh to where it needs to be seamless. Another thing that you can do is take a clean blending brush with nothing on it, put it in the crease, and just do circular motions. So essentially what we don't want is a harsh, you know, shadow up here like this. And I want you to start training your eye to see that, because if you look in the mirror and you see something's off, it's usually this right here. So take the clean finger and just tap, and that will blend that seamlessly. And don't stop tapping until you see the seamless blend. That's what I see people struggle with the most, especially in public with smoky eyes. They'll put this like black base on, and then right here is where the transition is not flawless, and you definitely want to spend your time perfecting that. Now, I didn't pull it out to here. You really want to be mindful of your eye shape as well, but just that, pretty simple. And then same thing if I were to go in with the NYX Lingerie. I will start with the dome applicator on the lid mostly, just tap a little bit because it's very creamy, and then almost blend down because you want the most saturation on this lash line. Perfect. With that, take your translucent powder from your face makeup routine. It could be literally any translucent powder, but this is a very important step, is to just get some on a fluffy brush and set the cream shadow. Now, why are we doing that? If it's wet, it's gonna move. It's malleable, it's movable. An eyeshadow may help set that in place, but a translucent powder really locks it in. Okay, so now we have that. If you lost the saturation, don't worry, the natural oils from your face are gonna come out and bring that out. So I'm going to start with the more golden tone. But what I love to do is just mix tones together to make these gorgeous colors of their own. From this one, I want more of a golden look, so I'm gonna take Fifth Avenue, mostly. Tap it off, these are very pigmented. And then I'm gonna tap into Kim, I'm gonna tap into Hollywood, and then back into Fifth Avenue. I'm doing that on a flat shader brush. This is Anastasia Beverly Hills brush that comes with most palettes. I'm going to focus that on the center of the lid and just tap. We're tapping this all over the lid. Now, I'm not going all the way up to the crease, just on the lid, tapping it all over. Another thing you can do to bring a richer texture is to dip into the shadows once again and lightly spritz it with some water. You could do like an Evian bottle. I'm using the Innisfree Hydrating Mist or setting spray. And the wetness of the mist is going to create a new texture for the shadow. So we're just going to tap that on top. And you'll see this really rich, beautiful texture. The only thing I'm going to come out of this palette for is a transition shade and a highlight shade. Because there's no highlighter shade for lighter skin tones in this palette as far as a brow bone, I'm going to just dip into the Charlotte Tilbury one. If you have any sort of Naked Skin palette, this is the Naked Smokey palette. They have a matte highlight, or like a Gwen Stefani palette. Any other palette that just has a shimmery highlight. That's what I'm going to mix with the Hollywood shade and just stick that on my inner corner just to brighten it up. On my skin tone, Hollywood is going to come out more yellow, more golden, and I just want more of a brightness. So anything that's just a little bit brightening with a golden hint to it, I'm going to put right there. Now I'm going to wipe this brush off on a tissue, go into a highlight brow bone shade, and just do the brow bone highlight. So from here, we have a really rich, nice texture. So if you are medium skin tone to deep, I want you to dip into Isabel, and if you're deeper, I want you to mix Isabel with Violetta, and this is going to be your crease color. For me, Isabel is a little too peachy, so I'm just taking Creme Brulee from Makeup Geek, which is a really warm neutral color, and this is what it looks like. If you have something similar, definitely take that. This is Isabella. Just for reference, you could see how much deeper it is. I could go with a lighter hand on that. I just don't want it to look orange on me. So I'm going to stick with Creme Brulee and possibly dip into that later. So I'm going to tap into that, tap off my brush so we don't get fallout. And I'm going to look straight. Look into your mirror, and where your lid meets the space up here, that's where you're going to put the brush. So I'm going to start on the outer because I have an almond shaped eye. And I'm going to look down And with very light pressure, I'm going to start sweeping that into my crease. Now with more almond-shaped eyes, I like to bring out the shadow a little bit. This way. Light hand is the key to blending. So now we have that placed. I'm going to take a fluffy blending brush with nothing on it. Right where the highlight meets the crease is where I'm going to focus the blending. And I'm also going to take it with nothing on it and focus on shaping the blend of the eye. On the flat shader that I wiped off, I'm going to go in with Paris and mix a little bit of Fifth Avenue again and back into Paris, tap it off, and spray with the Hydrating Mist. This I'm going to focus on the outer corner of the eye. Because it's deeper, it's going to push that back. And then I'm just going to tap it inwards, keeping it on the lid. The same thing with what we did in the beginning with the base. To blend up, you're going to do with this. So just tap very lightly right where it meets the crease. You could flip the brush over if you need to and just blend it out. Now on the crease brush, I'm going to take Violetta and mix it with Lula. Tap it off. I'm going to focus this on the outer part of my crease area, like here. I'm going to tap, 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 just to give the depth. And with the clean blending brush, I'm just going to blend that out right where I see anything harsh. Now you don't want to overcomplicate your eyeshadow. At some point you need to stop and realize that you have contrast that's going to be coming from your eyeliner and your mascara. So at some point we have to stop and just be okay with what's going on. So for the under part of the eye, this is where you're going to grab your golden pencil, put it on the waterline of your eye and underneath as well. I'm also going to line my upper lash line with this pencil, just for a little added dimension. I'm going to take the Anastasia flat brush, wipe it off again, and dip back into Creme Brulee, just like this, and tap it off. Get rid of that extra shadow. This is going to go on the under lash line, right over top of that pencil. And that's going to help set it in place. Don't be afraid to let the shadow come down here. This gives that sexy smoky look. Now I'm going to dip into Violetta again, tap it off, and focus this right on the lower lash line, on the outer corner. Now I'm just doing the outer corner just because of my eye shape. If you have larger eyes, you can bring it all the way in. Next, same brush, I'm going to mix Paris and Fifth Avenue, tap it off, and just go right over top of that. This is just adding texture and that really celebrity editorial look that you see in all the magazines. I'm going to wipe the fluffy blender on a tissue again and just blend wherever I feel needs a little love. With a liner brush, I'm just going to spray it and then dip into Violetta, tap it off, and create a soft shadow liner. So I'm just going to wing that out according to my eye shape. Just take Violetta and tap it with the shadow as close to the lash line as possible. So from here, you're just going to add mascara and or lashes. I'm going to do lashes for the sake of the video, but I'm going in with It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara, my favorite. So I'm going to just pop on some lashes and that'll complete the tutorial. We have a dog.